So I don't know how many of you tried this one, the uh, folder connection. Okay, it's a pretty easier one only. Okay, only thing is the formatting. If you follow that, it will be good. Probably try with different formatting also. And also, if you wanted to view the last 2 months data only, if you want to combine it, you can top rows. You have an option called top rows, right? In the top rows, you can go and specify it is 2. If you specify 2, the since you already sorted the files in the descending order, you can sort them there. Okay, and you can already it was in the descending order, right? We started in descending order, and in the top rows option, if you specify 2, the recent 2 months data only will pick up. So it depends on your requirement, business requirement. Okay, the next one is we will see the group by aggregation. Before we get in there, right? So some questions asked by someone, and that gentleman did not join today. So you are asking something like this question: the unpivot here we have three options are there, right? So we have three options are there. So what are the unpivot columns? One second, I just a quick rundown on what we discussed only on this one unpivot, and I just show you this one. Here we have unpivot columns, unpivot other columns, unpivot only selected columns. Let's say you pivoted on year column. Okay, so if you wanted to unpivot, you need to select all the columns that you unpivoted, right? So sorry, you pivoted. First of all, what is pivoting? Pivot is converting the rows into columns. Unpivoting is the opposite. Okay, the this is the example I showed you. Where is that? Yeah, pivoted regions. This is not there. I just show you here. Okay, I just start with this one, product sales. So this is a new file. This file has only 4 columns in it. Okay, what I do is I just simply unpivot it. So I just, yeah, this one transpose I did not cover. What we will do is transpose. I just duplicated this one, the product sales table. I just duplicated it here. As I discussed yesterday, once you open the query editor, Power Query Editor, all the tables, whatever you were seeing in the fields pane here, right? The tables will be considered as a queries in Power Query Editor. Okay, so I just uploaded the product sales file, CSV file. So I just copy pasted this. This is a query now because this is the one considered as a table, and in Power Query Editor it considered this as a query. Okay, this has 3 columns in it. I just duplicated it here. So now what I do is I'm going to use transpose. If I use transpose, let us see what happens. All your rows should be converted as a columns. Okay, here I just go back to this one, the previous one. Look here, the region, product name. So these are the regions, okay, and the product name, and sales is there. If I do transpose, product sales data, you don't have it. Okay, one second, I'll just send you, just give me a second, Avantai. I'll just send you. Hey, did you not send that? one second, here it is recording. Yeah. Here what I do is I just select only this column. Now I need to do unpivoting. So if in order to do unpivoting, I need to select all these three columns and then I need to click on this one. Only then this one will become, these columns will become rows, unpivot. If I simply click on this, it will not become, right? I need to select this one manually. Instead of doing this, I just select this cursor here, select this column here, unpivot other columns. Okay. If I do this, the rest of the columns you unpivoted. Don't do anything with this one. If I do this one, you will get back to the previous one. That's all, not much. Instead of manually selecting the columns and doing the unpivot, look here. Just for convenience sake, they kept it this one. If you have, let's say in this case, year, fine. But if you have months, or let's say you have done some pivoting on a product column, let's say you have 20 products are there. In that case, manually selecting the all columns and doing the unpivoting will take longer time, right? This is a simple way of, convenient way of doing it. And also unpivot only selected columns. Selected columns only I need to do some kind of unpivot. So what I do is I can probably select a specific column and then select only select, yeah, this is also the same thing, right? It's unpivoted, only selected columns, yes. Only these columns only I need to do some kind of unpivoting, sorry. I just hit the button unnecessarily, 1 second, I just... unpivot other column, unpivot only selected columns. So you might be asking this one, I selected it manually, then here I don't have to select it manually. For example, let's say I'm going to select only this column now, not that column, only these two columns, okay? Unpivot only selected columns. So 2022, right? So 1 second, what I did, pivoted column was this one, right? Yeah, I just selected these two columns, 2021 and 2022, and yeah, only selected those two columns, 2021, those two columns got unpivoted. This column, there are some situations, supposing you have month, quarter, and month, quarter, year. Okay, for example, month is 1/1, right? So, or year to 2020, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and right. So within each quarter, month, right? In that kind of situations, you can do it. So pivoting, unpivoting, again doing unpivoting for only specific columns, you can do it that also. But in our case, this is not required with this data set. Okay, so simply you just select these three columns, and then, or else what we do is this one, you can do some kind of unpivot only selected columns. But what will happen is here the one column will get created as attribute. Here it will say the column name is month, and values whatever there, right? It will display something like that. Here probably what you can do is you can give some meaningful name, right? Instead of giving month, you can say January, February, March, April, May, June, July, right? So you can give some month name here. You can type it, or you can do some kind of, you can use some M language function to generate month and assign it here. Okay, you can do it that way also. January, February, month. Along with this, and you can do it this way. Okay, so now you understood how to use unpivot only selected columns. In this case, I unpivoted only the month column, and the other one is unpivot other columns. This is for convenience sake. So this is the one. In this case, we need to manually select three columns in order to do unpivoting. I'll give you some other, the product sales you asked, right, Vantai? I'll send it to you all. I'll send you the format what I needed. You all try with. That is an exercise for you all. Okay, transpose try transpose and reverse rows. Okay, and for example, reverse rows is completely the last the last row will become first row. See, look here, 987, right? The last row will become first row, and the last the second one will become the second row. Likewise, reverse rows, transpose, and unpivot, pivot. For all these things, I'll send you an exercise. Okay, you just start practice with the product sales table. Okay. Okay. Next, what we will do is we will start with the new topic, group by. So what is GroupBY? So using GroupBY we can perform aggregation, isn't it? So using GroupBY we can perform aggregation. So what is aggregation? Aggregation is nothing but, in simple term, it is a summarization. What is summarization? Look here. This is my data set. Country, region, quantity, sales. I need the report to be generated something like this on the right side. Country, total sales, total quantity. I don't want the itemized data to be displayed. Okay, so this is a detailed or transaction level data, but I want to see the summarized data, something like this. This is called summarized data. For example, here we have how many unique countries are there? Only 4 countries are there, but Australia repeated more than once, right? So for in Australia we did 2 transactions, and Germany 2 transactions happened, New Zealand 2 transactions happened, and so on. So but we don't want to see the transaction level data, but we want to see the summarized data. So if you, for example, if you add the Australia sales 24,000 plus this is total sales, right? Total sales here, there's something wrong here. Okay, 23,138. So if you add these 2 things, right, Australia and sorry, this is the country only, Australia, and the sales supposed to be 24,000 plus 26,700. This one supposed to be 26,700. Okay. Oh, it is correct. I was looking at the wrong column. Okay, wrong value. So this is the one. Yeah, these 2 put together 26 still, right? So 26,700. Okay, and next one is United States. Similarly, right? So in the case of United States, we have 4 records are there. Add all the 4 records related to United States sales value. Okay, so in that case you will get 23,138. This is what aggregation. Similarly, you need to do the total for the total quantity for each country. So we want to do some kind of aggregation like this, and in this case we want to do the aggregation based on the 2 columns, country wise, region wise. United States, within United States we have 3 regions are there, but here for this region we have only 1 record is there, and here we have west to south, but here we have 2 records are there in region, in south region 2 records are there within United States. So for example, quantity is supposed to be 10, and in the case of south, United States south 10, and the sales is these 2 put together, we should come. So group by, in this case we did the summarization based on the country column. In this case we want to do the group by or aggregation based on 2 columns. We can do it more than 1 or more than 1 columns also, you can do grouping. So group values, group various rows in a single value by grouping the rows according to the value in 1 or more columns. Whatever I said, right, we can do it with that. When it comes to Power BI, we can aggregate a column by using an aggregate function. What are the aggregate functions? Sum function, min function, max function, average function, and count function. Count, right? So these are the functions we can use it to perform aggregation. These are the commonly used functions in almost all the other data analytics tools or statistical tools. and then what we do is we perform a row operation. So I'll show you what is row operation. In Power BI you do row operation along with GroupBY. So I just go to the Power BI desktop. What I used to do, I just close and apply whatever I did it. A lot of queries are there, it is not required. Anyhow, it is not required for us. Or also because it takes longer time, since we have many queries are there, it will refresh everything unnecessarily. This file should be there. I have something called AGG sales. It will be there. It will be there already on the AGG sales.csv file. This one must be there already in GitHub. Okay, and those of you have access, right? You can go ahead. No, it is not there. Anyhow, this is another. It is very slow. I have 16 GB RAM, but I could, I just opened only, I just closed this one, maybe because of that. Till it gets loaded. Discord. So the data seems to be good. We don't have to make any changes here. Okay, it doesn't require any data transformation. Here, E stands for East, W stands for West, and all the country names are in the abbreviated form. Okay, so US and Australia and Germany. Okay, fine. So what I do is because I was giving a demo on this topic for the previous batch, that time I changed the data, but I did not reverted back that time. Okay, anyhow, with this itself we can do group by. I just click on group by here. I just type it here. If I open PowerPoint, it takes a longer time. So we are going to do two operation. Okay, we are going to use an aggregation function to group by one or more columns, and next one is we're going to perform a row operation to group by one or more columns. So all of you must be familiar with this one. There is something special when it comes to Power BI. Okay, you can do a row operation to group by. Okay, okay. So here I have country ID. I just want to do country ID. I start with country ID. The new column name is total sales, and I'm going to select sum here and column. Which column I want to sum? The sales. Okay, I can click on OK. Look here, country wise total sales. Perfect. It is giving the country wise sales, but now I want to go one step further, but I cannot use this one now. I just okay, I just do one thing. I just revert it, and I'll take a reference. It is always a good practice, right? Don't work on the original query. Take probably one or two references. References are just pointer to the original one. It's not a exact duplicate. Fine. And here what I do is I just do a group by. Fine. Next what I do is I just go and create advanced one. So here what I do is country ID, add grouping. You can include one more column also, region. The next one is the total sales, and you can do sum, sum, and here country ID, and add aggregation. Here sales. Okay, here sales and total sales, and here total quantity. It is not showing this is the one I'm doing. These two. Okay, on the right side whatever you see, this one and this one. Okay, so the second one, group by, I'm trying to do this one, group by on country and region, total sales and total quantity. That's all. If you want to do average, you have all kind of aggregation functions are available, and count rows and count distinct rows is also available. We will see how it works. I'll go step by step. Look here, country wise, region wise. In USA, if you sort here on ascending order, Australia. So Australia we have west region, east region, And for the what is the sales here, and US we have south, and look here, we'll look at the original data here. And US we have two east regions are there, two east regions, 2 plus 5, 7, it's supposed to be 7 in US east region, 7. Look, yeah, it's doing perfectly. Pretty simple, right? So group by based on these two columns. Okay, the next what we will do is I just take a reference of it. No, I just delay it. I just go and do group by now. So the year into country ID, and I'm going to select advanced, and grouping region also I'm going to do it, and here total sales. Row operation I'm going to do. Row operation, what is row operation? All rows. We have something on all rows. Okay, and next I click on OK. We did country and region, right? We did group by based on the combination of these two columns, and we can see the sales is this one. If you want to see the what made up, right, so which values made up this one, right? If you want to see the granular detail or itemized detail for each record, you can use this one. We have something called all rows. Since I select all rows, what we can see is we can see table here, right? So when you click on this one, it's something like a hyperlink. We can get to the details. These two things put together, so 10,000, 11,000 on dot, right? So 11,000 on, that's what we could see here. 11,264. If you wanted to see the detailed, records or granular level records for each grouped items, you click on this, you can see it. Or otherwise, you can just click on this icon, double arrow icon, so that along with the grouped value, you can see the detail value also. You don't need all these things, right? What I do is use original column name as prefix. Okay, I just $2,500, or better I will do one thing. This is called expanded table. Now what I do is, instead of doing this way, I select some more columns, so meaningful column. Okay, so I keep country ID region, and quantity I'm going to leave it. And US and East region, these two values put together, we get 11264. Okay, and similarly here, right, Australia also we can see the same thing here. Hope you understood what is all rows, right? So performing all rows. If you wanted to drill down, it's kind of a drill down, right? So with this option, we are able to drill down to the next level to see how we arrived this value, how Power BI arrived this value. That's all, pretty simple. Okay, next what we do is, we have something called fuzzy grouping. We'll go and do it on this one. Cloud, Power BI service. Just give me a second, I just. So whatever the data flow, we created it on Power BI service. We can import it into our local Power BI desktop. What is the advantage of that? Why should I import it here? You remember in yesterday's session, we did a lot of things, right? A lot of data transfer. We converted the text order date column was, the assigned as a text data type. We converted as a date data type. Likewise, many columns, we did formatting, and certain unwanted columns we removed it. And also we created new columns, derived columns, year, month and all, right? So we did a lot of transformation. And apart from that, in yesterday's session, we discussed about the folder connection. You remember? In the case of, best example is the folder connection, right? Folder connection, we discussed it yesterday. Connector, right? In that case, what happened? We combined two or more than two files, and then we applied some kind of transformation, data transformation, right? So it applied close to 10 plus steps we have applied it in order to do the data cleaning, data pre-processing, everything, right? But when we tried pushing a new file in that folder, right, it automatically it was able to detect that newly arrived file, and it was doing, when I refreshed the report canvas visual, it was taking into consideration of the data which got stored in which got pushed to the folder recently, right? Fine. So all the transformations got applied to the new file also, right? Once you create the data transformation steps, even though you get more files in the future, the same transformation got applied. Yeah, we'll go step by step, Animes. Yeah, right. So that is the one thing. But I did not check on date, Animes. I need to check. But date column, it is risk. If we do some kind of fuzzy grouping, right? So yeah, probably the month year column we can do the. Animes has a question. So his question is, does fuzzy grouping works on date column? I did not try that one. Probably we can try with the month year column. In the month year column, when we use, see here we don't use text. The month column we use text: Jan, Feb, March, April. Some people they use March, some people they use, wherever the data inconsistency is there, we can use it. But date column, if you use it, we cannot say, right? Yeah, what you are saying is correct. In the date column, somewhere we use hyphen and somewhere use, I don't know if that one is going to take into account of that one or not, right? So, but here there are some, probably you can try it out. Okay, that's a good question. However, so the question, the point what I am trying to make is, in the yesterday's Power BI file, right, in the Power Query editor, for the folder connection related use case, we applied many steps. Let's say we applied 10 steps to do the data transformation, everything, right? This is part of my, this is sales report.pbix file. All these transformations, what are the steps that I applied it, that is part of my sales report. But these steps, once I created it, even though in case of any new files comes in the future, these 10 steps will get applied on the new files also. Reusability is there, very good. Let's say I want to create some finance dashboard, finance report.pbx file. But in that case, what will happen is, I'll be using this file also, right? So the whatever the file, so in addition to the finance report.csv file, something like revenue, something like finance.csv. Along with that, let us assume that I'm going to use sales.csv file also. In that case, whatever the transformation be applied as part of this file, these 10 steps will not be available here. You need to copy paste these 10 steps manually to this file in the Power Query editor. See, you need to copy these queries into this Power Query editor of your finance report.pbx. This is painful thing. Let's say you are working on when it comes to Walmart and target, a lot of reports are running. Close to 800 to 900 reports are running. The daily reports itself, because across the store, many reports are required, right? So in that case, what will happen? You cannot manually copy paste, right? It is a painful process. What you do is, in the cloud, centralized, right? What we are doing is, the cloud Power Query editor, we create data flow, and this is the centralized one. Simply once you create the data flow, right? In our case, let's say, this, if we, instead of doing it here in our desktop, if you do it everything on the data flow, what will happen is, you can reuse it for any number of files. Same thing, this data flow, you can drag and drop it into this one, or import it here. Here also you can import it. You understood the purpose of data flow? Data flow is very much helpful when it comes to reusability. It is, you can use it for, let's say, multiple reports. You are using the same report, same data, but for that data, lot of cleaning works required. We did cleaning on the cloud Power BI service, right? So in that case, even though multiple reports use the same report, they can use the one-time pre-processed data from the cloud using data flow. Okay, so look here, that is what the idea. Here I just go and check Power BI. Data flows. I just connect. We did not do any transformation. I mean, in the sense, we did not do extensive transformation for this file, but still show you, how that one is getting imported here. We want to import that one. See, I have created the new sandbox, and when I just go and see sales by country, this is the one I saved it, right? So this is what my data flow on cloud. Sales, yeah, if I want to edit tables, if I click on edit tables, you can see this one. Look here, sales by country. This is the data flow. So the icon, if you look here, right, if you hover the icon, you can see the data flow. This is the newly created data flow. Look here, in my Power BI desktop, I just connected to the cloud Power BI service, and especially, I just connected to this workspace. In that workspace, I need to select this one, and I'm going to click on load. Look here also he has given transform data. On top of the transformations, whatever we did it, if you need to do anything in addition to it, you can do it here also. Okay, I just click on load. You can see that file will get loaded here. Or better, I go here. Sales by country, right? Your question, Animesh. Yeah, 1 second, Animesh. I'll just come back to you. See, the thing is, right, the sharing is not possible. Can you show us how to publish it as a link? Right, so we can use it to view from any device. 1 second, I just, before I go there. It will get imported in that name. AGG says, let me do one thing. Let me just redo it. I somehow missed out watching that file. Yeah, that file name was sales W04 only, right? Correct. End of the day, it will get stored in that name only. Correct. It will not, with that name, it will not come. Sales W04 7 is the latest one. 1 second. I'll redo it one more time so that we will be very clear on that one. Power BI data flows. The same thing, the folder connection, you can try it out on cloud. Okay. There are various options are available or approaches are available. AGG sales. Okay. This is the one, right? So if I do it one more time. Okay, so I think this is the one. Okay, AGG sales already loaded it here, right? It's not showing it again. AGG sales 2. AGG sales 2. So it got imported, that one. Okay, the transformed data here. Now if you see here, AGG sales data 2, here we can see this one. This is the one, right? Yeah. Dev sandbox 2 and navigation. If I see the data one, this is the data one. Right, and we don't need this information. Dev to sandbox. This is the one. I just want to select this one. Yeah, initially we tried this one. Or else first time whatever we did it, right, we will just look at this one, country ID total sales. Actually that grouped data should come here, and here AGG sales, right, sales by country, this is the one. And when I do this table is empty, it shows it should get Yeah, IGG sales too, we'll try this one, or else we will. It is showing only the metadata of this file. Is leaf item name. Let me do one thing. I'll just the table data.table column names country. Yeah, we got it. Country ID is total sales only. We did it right. Correct. But the data should come here. The data is not coming here. Table. Yeah, maybe I need to enable the refresh there. Sales by country and data flow name and the IAGG sales. I need to do some kind of refresh preview. Even yesterday I was giving demo, it was working fine. I don't know, somewhere I made a mistake. 1 second, expanded data is this one, not this one. This is the data. Look here, this is the data here. So you want to insert a step? Yes. Probably I'll check and tell you, okay? So in yesterday also I tried, yesterday night for other batch, it was coming out correctly. Something wrong here. I can get import into Power BI. Can I also export data from BI to Excel? Okay, your question is I can get data, import into Power BI. Can I also export data from Power BI to Excel? Power BI to Excel, the data, right? Whatever the data you have it in Power BI, you want to export it to Excel, right? That one you can do it with the, yeah, that is not a straightforward way of doing it. You need to export it and using visuals. Okay, for example, yesterday I was showing, right? You have the table. You can drag and drop all the columns. For example, whatever you have, right? You need to drag and drop it here. Export data. This is how you can do it. Or go to data window. If the number of records are less, the data view, you go there and then copy paste your thing. That's all. Okay. Fine. So what I will do is this one, right? It takes longer time to refresh that, whatever we did it. So meanwhile, what we will do is we'll continue with the query parameter. We have something else called query parameter. Now you understood how to create a workflow on cloud and how to import it in your local Power BI desktop. The data is not refreshing it. I will just, I'll check on that. I'll come back to you on that. In the meanwhile, we'll see if that gets, if I just go and refresh it there. I don't know if this one is working or not. This is my gateway. On-premises gateway is running. Okay, the gateway is running, no issues, but the data is not reflecting there. Okay, I'll just check and come back on that. In the meanwhile, we'll start the now we will look at something else called parameter, query parameter. So this is the use case. These are different use case. This is one of the requirement. Okay, let's say you created a sales report. In that sales report, you did all kind of data model design, everything. Okay, you did the star schema design, full blown star schema related design. You did it, data model design. Now the requirement is the users, right? Once you develop your report, you can share it with other users. I'm talking about Power BI desktop reports. Okay, you developed a report and you can share it as a .pbx file. Instead of sharing it as a .pbx file, you can share it as a .pbit file. That is one requirement. The other one is when you share the files, or those people received the file from you, they should be able to view only the subset of the data. For example, let's the North region manager is supposed to view only North region related data. Okay, and South region manager should view only South region data. So in that case, if you allow him, so when he opens the report, whatever you shared it to your user, let's say you are the super user, you are the data modeler, and you developed a report, you did all kind of data model design, everything, you shared it with your end user, right, kind of end user, and he has not, right. So what he can do is, once he receives the report from you, he can open it. While opening it, it should prompt him to specify the region which he intend to view the data in this report. When he select, for example, when he type north in the when it prompts, if he types north, right, it will be get assigned to a parameter. That parameter, based on the value that got stored in the parameter, the data will get refreshed in this report. He can view only the north region related data in this report. Okay, and also we can give him the list of values option. So in this while prompting him, we can give him list of values option. Okay, there are 3 different options are available. Any option, list of values, query. To create the query parameter, first of all, what is a query parameter? Using which we can allow the users to view only the data that they are intended to view it. Basically, we are restricting the users. We don't want all the users to see all the data from the security point of view. Okay, and other aspect is security point of view, and number 2, second is performance point of view. Okay, listen, the north region manager mistakenly, if he select all the regions, what will the entire data will get pulled. It will take a lot of time to populate the charts in your report canvas. Another thing is security. He is not supposed to see other thing. Another thing is, right, he wants to see the north region manager, he wants to see only his region specific sales performance. He doesn't want to see other region. Okay, so to enable this one, right, in order to restrict the access and and also be mindful of the performance, what we do is we use query parameter. So what the query parameter, there are 3 options are there. Okay, so any list of values query, and how do we create? So all these 3 to creating the query parameter for all these 3 are same, more or less same, but the query we have something called query type of parameter. That is slightly different from these 2. Okay, I just show you out. There are only 3 steps are there. Okay, first you need to create a parameter. Okay, first you need to create a parameter. That time you need to specify whether any what type of parameter that you need to create it. As part of creating parameter itself, you can specify you want any or list of values or query. Okay, and second step is apply a text filter with the parameter created. Okay, supposing this person, right, the north region person, he entered north while opening his report, the report which you shared it to the north region manager. When you open it, it will prompt him to enter the region name. Okay, you can enter north, right? So, but there are situations, right? No, north region manager should view only north region. Okay, so here it will display only one value, scalar value, north. Okay, by default, whatever you set it, only that one you should be able to see, or you should be able to see any region, but one after another only you can see it. Okay, but keep that in mind. In any case, right, you need there are only these three steps are applicable. So one is first create the parameter. The second step is you need to map this parameter with respect to the column name. Okay, whichever column data you want to restrict it, for that column name, right, you go and map this parameter. Next, that's all, right? So next it will prompt something like this. Okay, North America. So this user, you shared the report to this user, you should enter his region, North America. Okay, so when you enter and when you click on OK, you can see only the North America related data in his visuals. Okay, you will see one by one, but the query type gives more flexibility. Okay, we will see how it works. We have this sales W04. Simple thing is I just go to transform data. Here I have sales W04 is there, right? All the data is there. I don't need all the data, but still let it be there. So what I do is I will go and right click on here. Okay, so when you right click, just beneath this queries pane, right here, when you right click on it, on the empty place, if you right click on it, you will find new group, new parameter. Click on new parameter. You can give some meaningful name, country param. Here type can be text because the country is a text data type. Suggested values, any value. The first option, look here, any value. This is the one I am choosing it here. The current value, I say something like United States. You can specify any country name. Okay, here what I do is any value, right? Sorry, not time. Mistakenly I chose time. That's the reason why I was not able to type. Is a text data type, any value, and here I say click on OK. Now parameter got created. My parameter name is country param, and if you click on, you see this is the current value, I mentioned it. Okay, when I click on this manage parameter, you can open this. If you want to make any changes to it, you can make it. Okay, instead of United States, if you want to specify some other country, you can specify it. Anyhow, I'm okay with this setting. Now let us see how we can use this parameter. We need to map this parameter with the United States is a country, right? So I just go to country column. Instead of searching, I just go here and go to column. Just simply select country here. This is my country column. What I do is I click on here and you will find something like text filters. Text filters equals right. So here you can see basic, advanced. Let it be equals, right? I'm not going to make any changes here. Here if you click on this drop down list, you will find text parameter. When I don't select anything here, by default it will show all the country name here, because currently I am on the country column, right? So in the country column, when I used the list of values here, right, it opened this drop down. See this popped up this window here. By default the country names are also, if I can specify something like Afghanistan, but here we are hard coding it. We are not supposed to hard code it. To prevent the hard coding, we created the parameter. Here we have text parameter options are available. You need to choose parameter. Look here, automatically it picked up the parameter which I created here, country param. right? So whatever the value that the user, when they type it, that value will get assigned to the country param. Suppose you type, I shared this report to you. When you open it, it will prompt you to enter the country name, okay? Or by default, it will show you the United States. You can, you can go by the default value, or you can, overwrite it with by typing different country name, okay? Let's say you are typing Australia. That Australia value will get assigned to this variable parameter. So the country is equivalent to Australia related data will get filtered. I will just click OK here. Okay, since I used United States as a default value, so now I mapped with this one. Fine, it is working fine. Now how do we test this? Close and apply. Fine. So to test this, I just go here, transform data. We have three options here, edit parameters. If I click on this, it will prompt me to, this is a United States, the default one. Whatever we specified it as part of parameter creation, I can override this value by typing my own country name. So whichever my choice, I am going to Australia. I click on OK. One second, I thought that this one was related to that one. Look here, Australia data got filtered, right? So if I click on the home ribbon, if I go here, if I select some other country, Germany or something like that, so when I share this report file to others as PBAT file, right? So when they open it, it will prompt them like this. So it is their choice. I know, right? So at one go, they can enter only one country name. Look here, Germany, right? It got Germany, right? This is how you can create parameter. You understood the advantage of query parameter. So you are restricting the user, but in this case you are not restricting the user. You are allowing the user to enter any country name. But at least from the performance point of view, whichever country you want to see, only that country related data will get filtered from the data set, right? But here, if he keeps enters multiple countries, again and again, right? Multiple queries will be fired against the database right? That is, but one way you are restricting, right? You should be able to enter only one country at one go. So next we have another type of, this is called any type of parameter. Next I am going to convert the list of values. You don't have to create one more parameter, but when you look at the real-time report, they'll be using many parameters. To avoid hard coding, they use many parameters. The other advantage is the end user, they will not have access to modify the parameter value and all, right? Look here, I'm going to select the same parameter which I created it, country param, click on the manage parameter. I'm not going to change anything here except here. So I'm going to change list of values. Now I'm going to restrict him to access only specific set of countries. Okay, let it be only two countries will use it. The default value we will make it the United States, and the current value we will make it Australia. It can be anything. I just clicked OK. So I don't have to map this again because I already mapped with the country column, this variable, this parameter. So now I simply close and apply it. Edit parameters. Now I can see the list of values. Second parameter is the list of values because you can see more than one value. But you are restricted to select one, of these three, right? So we can select only these three countries. That too, you can select one after another. But you can specify, from to also. When it comes to date, what we do is between from and to date, right? You can create two parameters based on the date. Also, you can filter that. So you can allow the end users to enter the from and to date, based on which, along with the country, they should be restricted to view only the specific duration of the data in the report. You can add more than one parameter. So what you do is you try that one, okay? So we have the order date column. That is also an assignment. You give it a try. I'll just list down all the assignments, right? And I'll send it to you. You can start. See here, it is not showing anything. Okay. Maybe I did not clear anything. United country. I mistakenly typed it. See, spelling mistake. United States. Look here, Australia. This time it correctly filtered. So we have only two options here, right? United States and Australia. But here spelling mistake, typo. Since I made a mistake, it is not fetching the correct data. See? So this is how we can restrict the users. They can access only Australia and United States data. Correctly it is doing it. Fine. The next one is, the last one is this one, query parameter. Instead of list of values, I am going to change it as a query. But before that, I need to create a query here. But for the third type, right? So unlike other two type, we have one more step. Okay, additional step is there. So that one, what we do is, I just go to the country column. I just select this one. I'm going to clear the filter because we are trying the other option, the third option. Hence I'm going to clear this one. We tested with first two options, it was working perfectly. Next what I do is, I right click on this. You can find something called add as new query. You need to click on this. It selected only the country data here in this list. I right click on it, I remove duplicates from it. Done. So now I call this a country. I'm going to rename this query list, right? Country list. I'm going to make a country list. This is a query list, right? So hence I give some country list. Next what I do is, in the query param, manage parameter. Instead of specifying like this, we use query directly here. So the query name is country list. Country list, right? On the left bottom, if you see here, country list. This is the query list I created. This is the one having all the country name, unique country name, and the type of the query parameter is query. And the current value is United States. So with this, we are allowing the user to choose whichever country they wanted. They should be able to choose it. For example, the C-level executive, chief executive officer, VP, vice president, the top level guys, they should be allowed to view any country's data. And the list of values is only for, let's the middle level managers and middle level manager, and the any is not any, the any is, they can view any type, they can type anything there. Any is not preferred in the, when it comes to real time, right? We use a list of values only, but for senior managers and above, we we give the query option. Look here, I just go and select edit parameters here. When you click on this, you can see all the country here. They can choose whichever country they wanted, they can choose it. Oh, okay. I did not match that with them, right? So I should have mapped this parameter. I have created a list, country list. I have used the country list inside my parameter, but I did not map that parameter to the country column. It will not show correctly. Did I do that? No, I think so. It will not do it correctly. Sorry, guys. Tanzania I selected, it will not filter it, just Yeah, it will not do because we did not map it with this, right? Transform data. We need to map it here. Country, you need to go and text filters. This step you are not supposed to forget it. The country equals parameter country param, right? This country param, we have used the country list. Okay, click on OK. Look here, you can see the M language also here. The M language generated. It uses something like filter rows. Why there is no data is there? Tanzania, yeah, Tanzania is filtered correctly. Can you see it here, right? Tanzania. So this is how you can create filter. Sorry, the query parameters. There are 3 types of query parameters. Using any, you can allow the users to enter any value, okay? And the list of values, you are restricting the users to the specific values. Whatever the values you define as part of list of values, they can access or filter the data relevant to those values only. The query, you are allowing the users to see any values, right? They can choose any values, okay? But here they are not allowed to type the country name, but here they can type the country name, right? So, but here they are not supposed to, they are not allowed to type. They can choose it from the list, whatever the value they see that they can choose it. So these are the simple steps. The first step is create parameter. Next one is once you create the parameter, you need to map that, you need to assign the parameter or map the parameter for a specific column, right? Whichever column you want to filter it, right? Country column. In the country column, you need to map the country column with the parameter name. That's all. The next one is if you apply it, close and apply and edit parameter, that is where you need to enter the value in case of any, or in case of query and list of values, you can select whichever country that you want to view it. But again, depends on the level, right? Different organization, different roles, different stakeholders will have different roles. Based on the role, we can give the appropriate thing. What are the advantage of this one is we are not security, right? Security, we are restricting the users to view only the data which they are intended to set, and performance point also it is good because we are restricting, we are not allowing them to view the entire data, right? So in that case, it will not fetch the entire data. What is the other advantages? There is another advantage of using query parameter, right? That use case is a little bit different. Supposing, let's say you develop this report and you wanted to publish it to your dev environment. So in the develop environment, they are, right? So they do some kind of unit testing, everything is fine. And if they want to migrate your report from dev environment to test environment and test to UAT and production, different folders, if they want to migrate it, in that case, what they have to do is they need to change or swap they are supposed to see. In that case, what will happen is migrating your code from one environment to other environment, look here, the data source settings. The source settings, they need to manually change it, right? So let's say you are part of a release management team. You are migrating code from development environment to test environment. The test environment, the data is not available in this folder. It is available in different folder. Okay. In that case, what you do is, right, so you need to manually, so in the release management, they have to manually, they need to open your code, the report, and then they have to manually change the folder name, right? So to avoid that, what we do is, we create one more parameter. Here my file name is sales w04. I select on it. Look here, you can find something, this one source, under applied steps. Just on the right side of the source you will find the gear icon. When you click on it, it will show you the folder name where the file resides, right? So supposing you are migrating this report from development environment to test environment, the test environment, the folder name is different. Let's say there they use something like 6. So in that case they have to open your report and they have to change it. If it is 1 or 2 report, it is fine. Let's say 800 reports are there, 600 reports are there, or 3, let's know every month, let's know to at minimum on an average, right, 50 reports you are migrating, right, from the dev to test they want to migrate it, 50 reports got. In that case, instead of using this, right, you can create some parameter. That parameter value you can assign it here. Okay, see here, country param we are not supposed to use, so we need to use another thing. You can specify the parameter name here. You create a separate parameter for this. For example, the source file, okay, source file or something like that, okay, or database, something like that. If you specify SQL server, right, let's say your development SQL server is there, test is there, and production development database is, production SQL server database is there. In that case, what you do is simply create one parameter name here, one parameter here, database. Okay, let's say the parameter name is database. Once you create it here, you just come here and select parameter and select the database here. Okay, that's all, and then click OK. So what we when before they migrate it, right, so all they do is just when they click edit parameters, or when they open the report, it will ask them, right, which folder they wanted to test it. So if they select the if they type or select list of values, let's say if you are using list of values, they can select a test environment folder. When they click on it, it automatically get executed on the test data. It, like, you know, instead of using the development data, right, test data it will get probably I will show you in the next session. Okay, it's already 7:07, and this one, the data flow, I'll recheck it why it is not populating there, because morning I gave a demo, it was working fine. I'll recheck it one more time. And then to answer to your question, Animesh, are you there? Yeah, your question was, instead of publishing to cloud, can you show us how to publish it as a link? Yes, that one I will show you later, but we can right, so only those people have access, right, they will be able to view the report. Okay, so even if I share the link, you will not be able to view my report. In order to enable you to view my report, you should be part of my company. That is one of the drawback with this one. The currently, okay, when it comes to Power BI cloud service, you can share the report, but you can share the report within your organization. You cannot share it outside. Okay, so that is one drawback, and I will show you. I have 2 or 3 accounts. Okay, so will by logging into different accounts, right, I will show you how to share it to different users and how to share a link to the users within my R, so that by clicking that link they should be able to view the report, but you cannot view it. I tested it that also. Any other questions? I will send you the assignments because already 7:10. I thought of discussing about the assignments. Couple of assignments are there. You can start, work on that one. So I thought of showing some more also because of the slow. Probably I will use other laptop from the next weekend onwards, and also we'll share the data files at least 2 days in advance so that you people can, download the files before I start the session, and you can probably start code along with me. So you have export option. Export to PDF is possible. Simon, you can export it to PDF, and you can export to PBIT file. PBIT also I will show you. PBIT is Power BI template file. That template file will have everything except the data in it. Okay. If you wanted to share your Power BI desktop file to someone else, just share the PBIT file. That is enough. The PBIT file size is much smaller. Fine. So it is getting exported to PDF file. The report will get. So this is, as of now, you can do this much. This is the way you can export the data. Okay. Any other questions? That's all right. I just checked. Okay, since you don't have any more questions, right? We will continue next weekend, and I will send you the assignments sometime tomorrow my afternoon. Okay, you can start work on the assignments, and next weekend we'll cover couple of real-time use cases. All right. So I'm going to end it now since you don't have any more questions.